Okay, so here I am out in a friend of mine's boat. This is actually our first time going out in it. He had just got this during this video, and we're out on Lake Sakakawea, um, in part of it called Lund's Landing. It's a bay area on the lake. The lake's actually quite large. We're out here in July, and we are attempting to catch some walleyes. The goal is to catch walleyes. However, we were trying a new technique today. We're throwing rattle traps or lipless crankbaits over kind of these shallow, flat areas. That's what we start out with here, and then we'll move to something different later. Um, but we're trying to throw these like lipless crankbaits out into the shallows and seeing if we can't get a couple of fish to bite. This is also one of the first times I'm using my camera, so you might have to bear with me with some of the stuff that happens with the camera and all that kind of fun stuff. But we're just getting ready. A friend of mine, he's choosing what rattle trap he wants. I think I'm using a fire tiger colored rattle trap. Um, the gear and stuff I'm using is Abu Garcia Silver Max rod and reel combo with 15-pound test Cajun fishing line. And so we'll just speed up a little bit here and get to the first fish. So this is the first fish of the day, and it feels like it's a pretty decent one. I don't think it's terrible or anything like that, but we're still trying to get everything ready to go. And found out it's not very big, pretty small. Also, not the fish we wanted. And even with the no tangled net, he found out how to tangle himself up, all up in there. So, yeah, that took a little while to get that out. And we get him out, and he's not bad. I mean, he's small. He's a small northern pike, but still fun to catch. I've started using these fish grabbers more often because even if you hold them by their gills or whatever, you have a pretty good chance of getting cut up and stuff. So you'll see me use these quite often, especially from the kayak. I'll use them a lot for catching pike. And we'll just let him go real quick because he's kind of small. Just fun to catch that one. This next one we like to call the easy release. Um, Still fishing the same thing, about the same area, and I hook into this next fish and pretty much instantly know it's not all that great. Um, Also, pretty sure it's not a walleye. He comes over with the net, but that will not be necessary. We'll get one look at him here, and he will be on his way. And gone. Piece of cake. Yeah, easy release system. I actually had him in the grabber, so I'm not quite sure how he got away there, but you lose some. All right, so we've moved around the point and are fishing more walleye territory here. We got more rocky shorelines, that kind of stuff. And I'm casting right up to the shallows basically with this rattle trap and within like a foot, 2 foot of water and reeling in. And this next fish hits really shallow. Like he couldn't have been more than 3, 4 foot of water. Um, and I'm fairly certain I know what it is because pike and walleye fight very differently. But you'll see here in just a bit. And it ends up being a nice fish, nice walleye. One of the bigger ones I've caught that year, so I was pretty excited. And the hook came out right as we netted it, and that's really common with walleye. I'm not sure what they do in order to manage that, but the hook popped right on out. But yeah, ended up being a great fish. Pretty excited. We put one in the boat first time out, so we were pretty pumped about that. That one is going to be dinner for later. After a while, though, we decided the rattle traps weren't working all that well. That was the last fish we caught on the rattle traps. So we moved to pulling Lindy's on Lindy's spinner rigs. So basically, what that is, it's a bottom bouncer spinner. So you have a bottom bouncer weight. We're using 1 ounce because we're in about 10 to 14 feet of water. Um, and you pull a spinner behind it. And on that spinner, we're tipping them with worms, I think, on this day. And you can choose any colors. We tend to split it up. I tend to usually use like greens and that kind of stuff. Um, Sometimes silvers. The water's pretty stained, so I'm using a lot of colored lures instead of like metallics because of the staining in the water. Um, and we just kind of troll at it for a while. It ends up being relatively successful. Not the most exciting fishing in the world, but it works. So you'll see a couple fish here. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of issue with the video and it wasn't recording like I thought it was, but we did end up moving to another spot after that one, even more rocks, and we managed to pick up another nice walleye. Um, Pretty excited about this one. Too bad I didn't get to see it get reeled in, um, but got the camera working a little bit after the fact. But this is one of the bigger ones that my friend has caught, so he's really excited about this. Um, Almost was too big. Like there's not a slot limit, but typically we want to let them go around the 23, 24 inch range since we're keeping for meals and stuff. But we'd only got I think 1 or 2 in the boat by this point, so we were pretty excited to keep this one. Unfortunately, that's all the fish I have on this one. We ended up with 4 walleyes. These are the 2 nice ones, and then a couple of pike. Not the worst day in the world. Ended up bringing home some good table fare.